friends, it's Nancy. We're here so I can at long last do a demonstration of how I make hidden hollowback spine, how I stitch my signatures to a strip of card and insert it into my cover. So I've already measured, here's my signatures are all done here. I've measured the width of the spine, and it is 1 3/8 inches. And I've measured the height of my signatures. They're 8 1/4. So that gives me the information I need to cut a spine. Let's cut this apart. I'm only on my second coffee, so let's see how this goes. The cat is up in his window, having a chat with the birds. All right, so 1 3/8 inches. I'm just drawing a line there, except it didn't. Let's try that again. So the middle signature I want right in the middle. So that's sort of in the realm of 11/16. And I don't have 16ths marked on this ruler, but I'm eyeballing it. Okay. So that'll be 1. Then I'm going to measure 1/4 inch. 2. And another 1/4 inch. Okay. And then I'll measure 1/4 inch from the center. And like that. Now the reason I've left this big hunk on is because I'm going to cut my template at the same time, or mark my template at the same time. All done with the birds? So I'm going to measure about exactly 1 inch from top and bottom. I'll draw a total of 6 lines. So this is about 6 1/4. And I want them pretty evenly spaced, so I'm doing some math. Oh, 1 1/4. Okay. So I will measure from the bottom. 1 plus 1 1/4 is 2 1/4. So that's 1 1/4 between the distance there. And then we'll add another 1 1/4. It doesn't have to be evenly spaced exactly, just as long as the measurements are the same from the ends going in, and that way it doesn't matter if you get your template for poking holes upside down. I don't know if that makes any sense. But sometimes if you don't have them perfectly spaced, you have to mark like a top and a bottom. Make sure that you get your signatures all going the same way. Okay, I used a black pen. I would usually use a mechanical pencil, but I thought I'd use this black pen so it would show up a little better. All right, so I'm going to cut this off. And then I'm going to fold this in half, more or less, just making sure I got it straight. Then this will be the template that I use in the signature to tell me where to poke my holes, okay? But right now we need to add some fabric to this. So I'm just using a piece of white cotton. Oh, 5 or 6 inches wide is more than enough. I hate that that's not. Let's do another piece that doesn't have that fold in the middle of it. Because I would definitely go down and iron that. Hi, Gibby. Knocking stuff on the floor. Get down. Get down. Okay, so it's a little longer than the template. So I'm just laying the ruler here to make sure it's going to lay straight. I'm sure it doesn't matter if it's straight or not. That's me. So I'm going to use Fabri-Tac to glue on the side that doesn't have any marks. What did, yeah, oh yeah. And thin it out, either swipe your finger down there or use a silicone tool, because otherwise you might have glue seeping through to the other side. Okay. Now you can see some words and ink through there, but mostly it's going to be covered up, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Need a pokey tool. So I will be poking where the fold and the penned lines meet. Okay, now these are all the same size. The pages are all the same depth, which is unusual for me. I usually have a number of different sizes of pages. Generally the outside page, what I call the anchor page, maybe other people call it the anchor page, I don't know. I will make sure is the overall height that I want to use. And I just use these big paper clips. And I only put them on one side. And that way I know which is the back of the signature and which is the front of the signature. And I've just always done that. When you've sewn a signature in upside down once or twice, you'll come up with a method of making sure that you can avoid that as much as possible. Nothing I hate worse than ripping out all my sewing threads. All of these pages that I made for this journal are Frankenstein pages, so mostly blank forms or papers or ledgers sewn together to make the correct size. This one is a tiny bit shorter. I'm going to center that right there. Oh. Okay. Now I use a catalog or a telephone book. By putting these pins here, oh, are you back? So I'm just going to plunge this into the middle. And then poke through. Someday I'm going to get a book cradle, but for right now, this is working for me. Sorry, is my head sticking in the way? Looking forward to the long weekend. I am actually taking a week of staycation. So I'll have a total of 9 days off in a row. Not that I'm going anywhere. Not that I can go anywhere. Okay, so those are done. Now, I'm going to poke holes at the crossroads. It's everywhere the lines cross. You better move, cat. You're gonna get some extra holes. Gibby, can you move? Hmm? Mommy's busy. You gotta get down. Yep. Where you go, babe? Come on. Okay, so you can see the holes on the other side. Get down. All right. Now, this is Bookbinder's thread. I get it at local art store. This is wax. Now I gotta find my good needle. There it is. Okay, so I just take a long hunk. It doesn't have to be any particular length. It won't be enough to do all 5 signatures, so I will knot it off and start a new thread. So what I'm doing, this is a piece of wax, and if you run your thread through it, you can get waxed linen thread. I could probably order it, but I've never seen it anywhere locally. But I just run that through the wax. It kind of gives it, makes it a little slicker so that the thread moves through smoothly. And I'm going to put a big hole. Or big hole, a big knot. All right, let me look at the time. Okay, let's see how much we can get done. Okay, so just take signature, and it doesn't, for this journal, it doesn't matter what signature I use, because there we go, that's better. Because I don't have any preference as to which is first and which is last, but I always start with the last signature. Make sure the thread doesn't get caught on your on your paper clips. Oop. So if you were doing a journal where there was a definite up and down and a definite front to back, you'd have to use a little more care than I'm using right now to make sure that you're getting all your pages in order. So this is just simple in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull these threads tight, make them as tight as possible without breaking them, which will happen to me. Hopefully not today. And tie a knot. Okay. It's hard to keep it in one place to correctly demonstrate it. So you're just going to have to take my word for it that it's just a simple running stitch, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. There we go. There's two. I probably wouldn't be able to get another signature sewn with this little bit, so I will grab another hunk. I'm just roughly measuring it. Rather it be too long than too short. But a long piece of thread is really difficult to manage. Okay, more than halfway done. I need to re-poke that it didn't go all the way through. That's better. What's going on here, you? Okay. Yes, I have definitely poked my finger with the sharp needle. If you bleed on your paper, cover it up with something. A nice little fussy cut. A collage. Maybe sew a button over it. All right. And one more. See, it's really not hard. It's just, it's awkward. But I think it's definitely worth the effort. Yeah, and I just tuck that end underneath the strings. Okay. How are we doing for time? Oh goodness. Okay. So I'm gonna pause the video now and to divide this up into 2 parts, and then we will do the next steps in putting this into our cover. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me. Come back and see the second half.